Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are talking about my current obsessions from Chanel Beauty. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or a hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. As many of you know, I'm a makeup artist and also esthetician, and I now have an online beauty consulting service. So when you make an appointment, you get my years of training, my expertise, my education, and just my years of experience working one-on-one with clients. And you get my undivided attention. You get to pick my brain about any and all beauty concerns you might have. And the benefit also is that I don't work for any brand in particular. I work for myself. So you will get unbiased beauty opinions. So if you'd like to make an appointment, click the link in the description box down below. All right, so for today's video, this is a new tag that I'm starting, my current beauty obsessions from Chanel. So I plan on updating this for different seasons. Periodically, I will revisit this tag. And I'm also thinking I could do this for different brands as well. Just thinking like, what are my top essential obsessions from this brand in this particular moment? So this will be evolving. So I highly recommend subscribing to my channel so you can be notified whenever I post new videos like these and you can be on the ball. So today's collection here might be a little bit more spring inspired because it is the springtime season. So the first item here is an eyeshadow palette. And this is the number 228 Tissé Cambon. This is not new, but it is new to me. This has been on the market now for several years. And I just think that this is a perfect springtime eyeshadow look. I think the purple and pink and the lighter colors, the white and also the silver cool toned taupey shade, all just really signify spring to me. This is exactly the type of palette that I look for, and it is in fact what I'm wearing today on my eyes. This formula is really nice. So you don't get a single matte in the palette here. These are all satin finish shadows, but they all blend like butter together so well. And just this purple and pink look to me, I just think it's just so iconic for spring. It makes me think of flowers and just this entire season. I really think that this palette is really underrated. I think it was popular when it first came out, but since then it hasn't really been on like top blogs or like been posted about that much. And I really think that's a shame because if you have been missing these sort of lighter, more traditional spring colors for the spring season, I think you would really enjoy this palette here. This is the Tissé formula, so it's not like the new eyeshadow formula from Chanel. It's this baked satin formula, and I suppose that the dark purple is more matte, but something about the formula makes it not be this like harsh, stark matte. It still has a little bit of lightness to it. It's still very workable, very blendable. Sometimes mattes can be a little bit too harsh and too difficult to blend. This formula is really lovely. And I've been wearing it a lot off camera and on camera, so this was my first item in my current obsessions from Chanel. Okay, so moving on to our next item here. This is a blush, and this is my Joues Contraste in number 64. Pink Explosion. So this is definitely properly named. It is 100% a pink explosion. It is a nice cool toned pink, and you do get a nice sort of like shimmer. You know, these Chanel blushes, they don't have like a chunky glitter, but just like this soft shimmer to them that just gives you like a light glow, but they don't like, the sparkles don't fly away or like settle into any fine lines. I've heard some controversy that Chanel is going to reformulate the blush collection, the blush line. So this is like the older formula, or like not the new one basically. So I don't know what the new formula will be like. Once it comes to Canada, I will give it a go. But this here, Pink Explosion, I just really like. I just think it's very properly named. If you just want an explosion of a nice cool tone pink flush, this is your girl right here. All right, next up is a foundation, and this is the Chanel Beiges Healthy Glow Foundation, and I have the shade B30. So this came out, I think, in the summer or fall of last year, so it's relatively new to Chanel. And it claims to be healthy glow, it's supposed to have hydration, and it's supposed to be long wearing as well. And it's one of those foundations that actually manages to live up to the claims. It does have a very fluid and runny texture. It is a liquid foundation. So when you apply it, it does feel wet on the skin, but it does dry down a little bit, kind of just like melts into your skin. And then you do get left with this beautiful luminous finish throughout the day. I wouldn't say that it's excessively glowy or dewy. It's just like a soft, luminous glow. I think this is perfect for dry skin, dehydrated skin, mature skin. If you have very oily skin, this might not be your favorite. You might want to use a more mattifying powder over top because you do get left with a little bit of luminosity throughout the day. But it's also very lightweight. It's definitely in the light to medium coverage, and I used one pump for today's makeup. I didn't have to use more than that. It feels very breathable and lightweight, and it just feels very natural, like your skin but better. But you can definitely build it up a little bit more if you need to, but it just kind of gives me everything that I want in a foundation. The hydration, it's long wearing, it is a bit mask resistant and mask proof. It feels really comfortable, it looks like skin, so this has been my current obsession. Now, next up is a fragrance, and this is the Coco Mademoiselle Eau de Toilette. And I have here the Twist and Spray Travel Edition. So this is part of the signature Coco Mademoiselle line. But the Eau de Toilette is a bit lighter, it's a bit softer. Somehow the patchouli seems to be a little bit more present, just on the top notes. But it seems softer in general. I think there's a bit more fruit in here. I think you have like your classic orange and mandarin and like the zest of oranges, but you get a bit more grapefruit as well. It's a bit more light and a little bit more bubbly. And I think there's maybe a hint of vanilla in here. It isn't that like heavy gourmand fragrance, but it reads as a little bit sweeter, a little bit lighter, a bit fresher. You still get that DNA of Coco Mademoiselle, but it's just like a little bit less heavy than the Eau de Parfum. And I have the Eau de Parfum, Eau de Toilette, I have the nighttime fragrance. I'm really building up my arsenal of Coco Mademoiselle, but for a long time, the Eau de Toilette has been my favorite version. I don't know, something about it is just a bit more wearable. Since it is an eau de toilette, I do feel I can douse myself a bit more liberally. And I love the packaging. It looks like a giant lipstick tube. I love the twist. I just love everything about this. I think that the Eau de Toilette version of Mademoiselle is also underrated. I think that we often gravitate towards the Eau de Parfum version, which is really lovely, but sometimes we forget that the Eau de Toilette is also really nice, and I think it's a really great fragrance for spring, transitioning into summer. I think it's a really good scent for this season here. All right, last item here in my current obsessions from Chanel is a brush, and this is the number 104 Touch Up Face Brush. So technically there are a few ways to use this. I think on the website they recommend using this for concealer or things like that. I like to use it for foundation. So I put the foundation on the back of my hand, you swirl in here, and then you just buff the foundation in place. And I find that the bristles here, I've used it, that's why it's dirty here, but the bristles really just help buff the foundation in place. You can go in and like spot correct if you have any imperfections. They say to use it for concealer. I personally find it to be a bit too big for concealer, but this says it's a touch-up brush, so if you're on the go, if you wanted to touch up your makeup, this could also be very multi-purpose. I use this, as I said, for foundation, but I also just like knock off the excess foundation, and then I can go into a powder with the same one, and then I can apply the powder directly on certain areas. So I just find that it's a really nice multi-use complexion brush. If you are going to go ahead and use it for a liquid foundation first and then a powder, just make sure to wipe off the excess either on the back of your hand or with a tissue, and you'll find that you can actually get multi-uses out of one product, which is kind of nice when you're kind of in a rush. It's nice to not need like 75 brushes. And again, I think this is another one that's a bit underrated. It's new-ish, it came out last year, but I haven't seen many people talk about this brush, and I just think it's really lovely and I've been using it a lot. Alright guys, that is it for the end of today's tag. These are my current obsessions from Chanel. I definitely will be doing a follow-up to this in the summer and also with different brands. I hope that other creators do this as well, because it's just nice to see what products people are obsessed with on camera and off camera as well, because I know for myself I tend to use a lot of products off camera that sometimes just don't make it into my videos, so it's nice to share that with you. Please leave a comment down below letting me know what are some of your current obsessions from Chanel. I would love to hear from you. If you're new to my channel, make sure you're subscribed and also hit that post notification bell so you can be notified whenever I post a new video. So I think this might be it for today's video. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.